The mgtow movement is gaining significant momentum, impacting various industries. The jewelry business has experienced a noticeable decline in sales, as fewer men are purchasing engagement rings and other jewelry for women as gifts. Bakeries are also witnessing a reduction in orders for wedding cakes, with a rising number of requests for cakes at gay weddings. As a result, some bridal companies are facing financial challenges. Interestingly, the demand for cat food has surged, indicating a shift in lifestyle choices. It seems like mgtow is becoming an important aspect of the future for many men.
I'm a strong, independent woman. I can do anything and I don't need you.
What do you want?
Can you help me open this?
What do you say?
Thank you.
Joshua, let's talk about mgtow. Some folks see them as realists, calling out the issues that they believe are plaguing modern relationships. They're not afraid to question the prevailing narratives and societal norms. On the other hand, there are those who think they've taken things too far and are simply being unreasonable. What's your take on it?
I believe that mgtow is a reasonable choice for men. Despite the loud and shaming responses from standard-issue feminists, if men decide to avoid marriage and cohabitation and focus on self-improvement, that's their personal decision. Women should take the time to reflect on why they get so upset about mgtow. Men have played a significant role in building society, and their choice to step back could be a response to how society has evolved. It's unfortunate that some critics of mgtow fail to extend the same liberal courtesy to men, who are often seen as disposable.
But Joshua, some guys got upset when I asked this question and told me to just leave it be. But I just want to know, is mgtow a woman-hating thing, or is it just a thing where men keep away from women?
The mgtow movement isn't inherently misogynistic, although there may be misogynists among its ranks. It's not about keeping men away from women, but rather distancing themselves from a system that heavily favors women at men's expense. The movement advises against marriage, cohabitation, and having children, as these often lead to alimony and child support fees. Some men opt for casual dating, but others embrace monk mode, avoiding any romantic involvement with women altogether, and some even choose to go ghost, withdrawing from society to minimize their contribution to the system. Initially, I dismissed mgtow as a group of embittered men who had been wronged by women. However, as I listened to men's experiences and learned more about the movement, I realized it addresses the genuine concerns of many men who have suffered under a social system that increasingly favors women. A striking observation from TV and movies is that violence against men is still prevalent, while any violence against women or children is universally condemned. Men are more likely to be victims of violence than even stray dogs, and they face disproportionate risks in disasters or crises. Society often looks down on men who attempt to save themselves in such situations, while women and children seeking escape are encouraged. Additionally, when men are physically assaulted by women or children in public, their plight is often trivialized, whereas women assaulted by men are quickly rescued. I've had an eye-opening experience when dealing with a woman who was violent toward me. I called the police, and despite her still being angry and loud, they asked me to leave. I had to find a cheap hotel to spend the night. It made me realize that if the roles were reversed, and I was the angry one, the situation would have been even worse for me. This opened my eyes, and I started hearing more men expressing their frustrations about how the system seems rigged and unfair. It became clear that men have some legitimate grievances. It's not that something has changed in the nature of women. They are the same as they have always been. However, their flaws often get minimized, while men's flaws are magnified. Of course, some things men do are also minimized. For instance, I don't think a female version of Trump could get away with some of the things he has. If he were a woman, he probably wouldn't have become president. So there is room for women to complain about double standards too. They exist on both sides, and I won't deny that anymore. Men suffer just like women do, but in different ways. I remember when some women tennis players were complaining about not getting paid as much as men. The men didn't respond, but they had the right to. They, for the most part, play more tennis in a given season, facing tougher competition. If there were a greater demand to see women's tennis, they should get paid more, and I wouldn't argue against that. But is there more demand for women's tennis? I don't think so. It seems to be at least equal, yet men play harder against better competition. Unfortunately, when men raise these objections, they are labeled as sexist. That needs to change. The whole notion that men earn $1 for every 76 or 78 cents a woman makes is nothing but misleading and damaging. When you consider all the factors, men do not make more than women. Women might take time off for maternity leave, morning sickness, or because they often have custody of the kids, leading to more sick leave. On the other hand, men typically put in more physical hours outside the home, while women tend to work more within the home. Many myths contribute to this false perception that men have it better overall. MGTOW, whether you agree with it or not, aims to shed light on men's rights and their choice to go their own way and avoid getting caught up in complicated relationships if they don't want to. It's not about fighting against women. It's about fighting against the system. If you can't win the game, why bother playing? We care less about what happens to society when their foolish laws disrupt the family structure, and that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.